It's one of the worst things that you can do to your children, where you basically break the home apart because of your lustful desire.
These two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
The CEO that allegedly cheated on his wife, it's easy for people to say the woman will get the money and she'll be fine. But really, is she gonna be fine?
So how many women have you slept with in your life?
341.
Does she know how many women you slept with?
No.
She thinks 8. It would be crushing for her. More than 50.
You have marriage for him?
Say yes.
Hold on. No. Miss
She must be
Randy.
so embarrassed. Like, if I imagine myself as that person where, like, my husband is notorious for sleeping around, like, I would be so embarrassed. Cheating men, let's talk about them. Yes, I do know that women cheat too. I mean, it's a given. But let's look at the data. Well, men cheat more than women. And it's not a flex or anything. It's not like saying, oh, women cheat less, so that makes it okay. Cheating is not okay, period. But there was something interesting that I saw as well, which I think is important for people in the dating scene. Men cheat more as they grow older. If you're a girl in the dating scene and you're dating a guy who's already cheating on you, and you're like, you know, he's gonna change. As we get older, he's gonna forget those things. Well, look at it. Men in their 60s cheat more than men in their 20s. For me, that's interesting. That's an interesting thing to find. So anyways, let's get into the video. Growing up, there were all these men in our streets, and they were the cheating men. And there was all these rumors about them. There's all these gossips about them. People were talking. I found him somewhere with this girl. I found him in the red light district, you know. And some of these men, their cheating didn't stop with, I mean, they would go for younger girls, of course, but sometimes they could go to like girls that were really young, so like underage girls, and there was nobody to stand up for these kids, so the men usually got away with it. But my point is, there was a lot of focus on these men. Whenever women saw them somewhere, oh, I saw that man out with this girl, and that was my experience. Like, even when we left that area, we moved to a different area, there was always the cheating men that everybody knew about. And I would hear all these things growing up, and I would see all these things. And my first thought would always be with the women. I always thought, everybody knows your husband sleeps around with every girl that he sees. How would the woman feel? Like, how does a woman that knows that her husband is cheating on her and everybody else knows in the whole area, how does she feel? Like, I always wondered about the woman. And when you see the women, they don't hide or anything. Like, sometimes they still come out, they still talk with other people, and they put on this bold face. And of course, they never leave the marriage, right? I mean, it's not like here in the West where, like, look at the Astronomer CEO, where everybody was like, oh, his wife is getting half. Usually the women don't get any in Africa, like when I was there. So the women usually, most of the time, they just stay. There might be resentment in the marriage. Maybe there's no law. Maybe there's nothing going on in between them. But usually the women stay, and they stay together, basically until death do them part, most of the time. But I usually think about, how does the woman feel? Like, she must be so embarrassed. Like, if I imagine myself as that person where, like, my husband is notorious for sleeping around, like, I would be so embarrassed, God forbid, by the way. And I would be so embarrassed because I would think that he's a reflection of me, right? Like, it was my choice. I made that choice of making this person the father of my children, of making this person my husband. Now he reflects on me. He's the neighborhood serial cheater, and now everybody is kind of looking down on me like, why did I choose this man? So anyways, that's always been my, I guess, one of the things I always thought about, a man that would literally just embarrass you in the streets or in the area. And if you look at what happened recently with the astronomer, I think that's how you say it, in the Astronomer CEO in the Coldplay concert, one thing I noticed was how people, like, right away they went to the wife's profile and they were checking to see, and then, oh, she took away her last name. I feel like even though the woman is not involved, there's still a lot of shame that comes with that, and there's a lot of embarrassment. Like, how did I get myself into this? Someone wasn't the one who cheated, but right away people had gone to a profile to see who she is and what she looks like, and they were saying, oh, looks more beautiful than the woman that he was with. But anyways, this is all alleged. So the point of that was that because I had seen all of that, I definitely knew that I didn't want to marry somebody who would embarrass me. And I thought in my mind that, I could tell. I knew these men. I see the way they looked at girls. Like, you could tell from the way they look. And I thought, definitely, because I know the way these men look, I know how to avoid a cheater. And that was my belief, that I could avoid someone who cheats because I could see the way he looked at girls, the way he looked at me. But when I experienced my own, I couldn't tell. Like, there was no way I could tell. And I think some of the pain that comes with it, it's easy for people to just say, again, to the CEO that allegedly cheated on his wife, it's easy for people to say, the woman will get the money and she'll be fine. But really, is she gonna be fine? Maybe the money is good, but it doesn't really help with the hurt. And think about the broken trust. Think about the broken heart. It's not easy to just get over it just because you get a lot of money. Whether you get money or not, it can never replace the hurt. And it's like, I feel like people that cheat, like, don't they realize like how much they're hurting people? It's like, if you're cheating, why don't you just stop? Because it's really hurting people. I don't care the amount of whatever you do, that trust is forever broken. I remember watching videos of couples that one person cheated and the other person ended up forgiving them. If that relationship can never be the same again because of that broken trust. And it takes a long time, and I feel like even when you rebuild it, it might never ever be the same. So why don't you just stop if you're cheating, right? And then I saw this video recently. I think it's a own video, like Oprah Winfrey Network, something about Fix My Life. And I thought this was interesting. Like, this woman, she thought that the man that she had married had only cheated on her with 8 women during the marriage. And then in this video I watched, she found that it was actually more than 50 women. And then another clip showed that it was about 314 women. And I thought, you know what, for me, 1 would probably be enough, right? You don't have to get to 8. Like, 1 would probably be enough. But then I realized, this is a married woman. For example, for myself, I was dating, so it was easy. I could just break it off. But then it's easy for you to tell a woman who's married to just leave the man, right? And there's even biblical grounds, right? The Bible does allow you to divorce if your husband cheats on you. But then there's so much more involved with a marriage. Now they've literally become one. And there's that illustration where, like, you glue 2 papers together and you try to rip it apart. There's all these wounds that come out of it. And some people may say, like, they're already apart because you already cheated and you broke the married vows, right? But then now there's probably kids involved and families are joined together. You probably have like mutual friends. The mortgages are together. Cars are probably together too, like bills and all these stuff. And now you want to rip those apart. Like, it's so hard to do that when you're in a marriage. And I remember one time I was talking to these 2 Christian women who I respect, and they're in their 50s. And I can't remember what the conversation was, but I brought this up that on my wedding day, if I found out that the guy that I was going to marry was cheating on me, I was going to break it off on that day. And they kind of looked at me like I was crazy. Are you dumb? On your wedding day, like, everybody's here, like your family, his family spent money and they've invited people. They probably traveled. A Nigerian wedding, like, I don't know if you know what Nigerian wedding is like, but basically everybody's there. People have traveled from far and wide to be there, and you're gonna cancel it? Are you crazy? And I was just kind of maybe doubting myself, like, okay, maybe what I said was dumb. But when I saw this video, I was like, what? And I saw the stats on men too. It's like, okay, 2 scenarios here. Let's say I find out that the guy I'm about to marry is cheating on me. And so I either break it off or I go ahead with the marriage. Let's just assume that I break it off. For example, A Nigerian wedding, I break it off on the wedding day. Everybody's mad at me. I know that definitely when I ever try to get married again, nobody's gonna come. We spent so much money, millions of naira, and we canceled the wedding. It's a waste. Everybody's mad. Everybody goes home, right? That's if I cancel it on the day of the wedding. If I don't cancel it on the day of the wedding, I go ahead and marry this man. Now, he's still cheating on me throughout the marriage, right? And I talked to other Nigerian Christian women. They told me, this is how it is. You gotta stay here. We've all experienced it, so you're going nowhere. And so I stayed. And let's assume this woman's situation. Now, I think that he's cheated on me with 8 women. I find out that it's more than 50. Should I wait until it's the 1000s, or is this a forever thing? I'm going nowhere. Let's just assume, right, that I decide that I was gonna break it off. And so I break it off. Now, there's so many things involved, right? I mean, now we're together, we'll probably have kids together. There's a mortgage. There's all these things that join us together. Now I want to break it off. Now it's even worse because the kids are going to get affected. And children of divorced parents, they get really affected by divorce. I saw another stats that says children of divorced parents are even likely to get divorced as well. Now that I decided I'm going to break it up, it's even worse. So I guess maybe I just have to stay, right? Because if I've endured it to this point, I knew he was cheating on me on the wedding day. He's been cheating all through the marriage. I just have to keep praying and hope that God touches his heart and that he wants to not cheat anymore. That's the thing, right? Now that we're in the dating scene, we could decide that we want to close our eyes because we want to get married. There's the pressure. You're in your 30s, you're approaching your 40s. It's the clock is ticking. I remember this video I saw where this woman, she was saying, your husband cheats on you. Is that the way that you think that this is right? If people are saying things to you do you think this is right? And she's like, maybe that's why you're not married.
What would you say to the women that may be looking at this and say, see, that's that nonsense they talking about?
Well, I would say that's why you're single still. I'm sure somebody had been in your life already and you didn't want to give the investment for that person to become somebody, and then you lost them probably a long time ago. And you should have just worked with them from the beginning and just worked out the kinks and worked it out.
That's shots fired, right? To say, okay, even though my husband is cheating on me, but at least I'm married, right? But you have nobody. And then I was like, ma'am, congratulations to you, but I don't even know if you love this person, because if you love this man and he has another woman with him, then what's going on? What's the relationship about? What's even this? Is this even a marriage? And even the Bible says that Christians, we should correct one another. So you're not even correcting this man that he's sinning against God. He's sinning against the covenant of marriage, but you're throwing shades at the unmarried folks for saying that you shouldn't accept cheating. But anyways, I wanted to come in here and talk about it. As a Christian in the dating scene, there's always that pressure. You found one. Well, he has some flaws. He's cheating, but he's still good. He still goes to church. Holding tight. You fight the other girls and be the winner in this. Well, if you marry him and you fight the other girls, how many girls are you going to be fighting? You're just going to keep on fighting till your 60s, because remember the stats that we saw. As they get older, they cheat more, right? So in your 60s, how many women do you want to be fighting? Do you even have the energy to fight, right? And, it's funny, the stats say as women get older, the cheating decreases. But for men, as they get older, their cheating increases. So you're thinking, when he gets old, he's gonna stop. Well, maybe he's even just getting started in his 60s. So that's a fun fact for you. Cheating is not just about the flesh or gratifying whatever you want to do. It affects people. It affects the wife. It affects the husband. It affects the children. And I think it's one of the worst things that you can do to your children, where you basically break the home apart because of your lustful desires, because you wanna have that few minutes. You basically destroyed your family, and it affects generations as well. Not just that generation, generations after could really be suffering from the impacts of divorce. So I guess maybe for people that cheat and you're having issues, don't know how to stop, or you're trying on your own to stop, the truth is that the only person that can help you is God. So you really have to get help. You have to voice it out, talk to people around you in your church, really seek God. I find that a lot of times temptation comes through the things that you see, the things that you hear. So people really need to watch the kind of content, the people that you listen to, the things that you feed your eyes with. When you watch that and you go closer to God and you just open up your heart to God, work on your self-control as well. I feel like now youth is really when we want to master that self-control and get our desires according to God's word, so that in the old days, when we get older, we can see the benefits of living that life of self-control that is pleasing to God. That's all I got. If you have experiences with cheating, some things you want to share, maybe something I missed or anything at all, just comment down below. Okay guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye.
How can I say that I'm grateful? Oh yeah, I have a father who will never ever fail me, no.